The developers behind the iconic Crystal VST synth, Green Oak Sound, just released two new effects plugins today. One is called Tungsten, which is a textural delay effect, and the other is Cesium, which is a lush chorus effect. I figured we'd try them out and see if they're any good. For the first example here, I have a hang drum pattern that's very clean. I made using Stochast to create a generative sequence. Before testing these plugins, let's listen to this hang drum sound on its own. Let's mess with Tungsten first because this is the plugin that impressed me the most when I tried it. So here is that same pattern with Tungsten. I have it set on a pretty standard delay mode here, with just a single delay, a lot of feedback, and pretty high in the mix. Let's try adding some wear to the sound. That seems to add some mid-range tonality to the delayed signal. Let's bring down the mix a little bit and the feedback. There's also a ducking feature, so whenever your instrument has a transient, it'll duck out the delay temporarily. So if I pause it, you should hear some delay come back in. And I'm using a quarter note dotted delay here. So let's unsync it. I like how it modulates the pitch when you change the timing of the delay. Some delays do that, others don't, but that's a pretty cool feature that you can use for some sound design applications. Let's turn sync back on. How about the freeze mode? So obviously when you turn on freeze mode, it's going to choose that exact time when you turned it on, and it's just going to continually repeat that moment. That could be useful. I don't find it that useful. How about the granular mode? Whoa, that's really cool. You can use this wear knob to kind of smooth out the granular effect. Now let's try reverse. Also works really well. I could see that being very useful. Let's try using the dual delay mode. It basically just adds in a second delayed source. So wear is also, it seems like it's adding some sort of high cut to the signal. Let's simplify things and try out the smear effect on its own with just the standard single mode delay. So it sounds like it's just adding reverb to the delay to kind of smooth it out, but I think there's a little more going on than that. Somebody might know what it means better than me. I can't find a user manual for the plugin, so I'm kind of just going by what I hear, but it does sound like it's adding a kind of reverb effect. It might just be modulating the delay signal, or it might be creating some timing differences between the delayed signal to create kind of a spatial sound. Okay, that was Tungsten on the hang drum. Now let's try out Cesium, the chorus effect on that same hang drum. I should really say that at first these GUI designs that are kind of steampunk style threw me off, but I actually think they're really easy to work with, and so I don't think it's a detriment at all. It also looks really unique, so that's cool. Kind of reminds me of the Manny Mora Quinn Waves plugins, or maybe the Greg Wells, one or the other. Let's bring back the depth of the chorus. I have invert on, let's turn that off. You have different types, I guess, shapes for the chorusing, a sine wave, a kind of sawtooth wave, and maybe a randomized or step and hold wave. Let's bring down the mix percentage. Darker tone would be these lower values. And I guess brighter tone is the higher values. That's kind of what it sounds like. We have it in full 100% width. Let's bring that down. I might be misunderstanding what this delay feature does here. It could be that it's the time between the pitch modulated repetitions creating the chorus effect, or it could be the initial onset from the source signal to the creation of the chorus. I think it does have to do with the delay between the repeated pitch modulated signals being created by the chorus. So that's fast. And that does sound like a slower pitch modulation between the chorus repetitions. Let's try turning off thick mode. Oh, yeah, sounds thinner, so that's accurate. Let's bring up the rate. Can definitely get out of control quickly there. Let's bring up the mix. Thick definitely sounds like it adds a lot of additional layers of pitch modulated signal to thicken up the chorus. Let's try invert. How about some feedback? This plugin sounds very good for subtle uses, I'm not going to lie. I think this directly competes with my favorite chorus plugins. So I have absolutely no problem with that. I'll probably end up using this just to mess with it. I'm definitely going to use Tungsten. That really impressed me. Let's try out these two plugins on a different source here. For the next source here, I'm going to try out this Spitfire Audio acoustic guitar from the Originals Media Toolkit. And I'm going to turn down the reverb for this example so we can hear a lot more what the effects are doing. Here is that guitar without any additional processing. You can definitely hear some compression and EQ, but that shouldn't change what you're going to hear from these effects that much. Let's start with Tungsten. That is the default setting, it's pretty aggressive. Let's turn off granular, bring down the feedback. definitely hear that this wear is cutting out a lot of the high frequencies of the delay. One thing I like to do frequently with delays is cut out the low frequencies, so I really wish that it had a low cut option, because from what I can see on here, it does not have that. One thing you could do to get around this is take your original source, route it to an aux send. On that aux send, put this delay plugin, and then after it, put an EQ with a low cut, and then route both the original channel and the delayed channel to a bus. That could pretty much accomplish what I'm trying to do. It'd be nice if they had a knob in here, and I might reach out to the developer and see if they're willing to add something like that. Otherwise, this is a really awesome delay plugin with a ton of features, and I'm very impressed by it. It's one of the best free delays I've tried, probably in the top 3. You can make some really cool textures with that freeze option. I really like Tungsten. I think that's awesome. Now let's move on to Cesium. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Very nice resizable GUI here. Let's try sine. Turn off thick. Bring down the depth. And bring down the delay. So I did just experience a DAW crash. I'm not sure if it was from the Cesium plugin. That's just something to keep in mind. There could be a little bit of instability with these earlier versions of these plugins, but that's the first issue I've encountered with either of these plugins. Let's go back to trying out Cesium on this acoustic guitar. And my audio just muted, and the DAW froze. Yeah, I think there might be something here. I'm trying out Cesium once more on a different track to see if it was just that individual project that was having issues with the DAW crashing. Let's give it a shot on this electric guitar. That sounds awesome on this guitar. And yeah, another DAW crash. Well, kind of a bummer I'm getting some DAW crashes with Cesium. It seems like a really cool chorus plugin. I really hope you enjoyed taking a look at these plugins with me. If you liked the video, consider supporting me by just liking the video, leaving a comment, or subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, download these plugins and try them out yourself. I was really impressed with them, and I think they'd be pretty useful even if you own some paid plugins. These could offer some options that you might not have in some of your paid plugins. I definitely saw that with Tungsten. It had some really cool features that my favorite delay, Replica XT, doesn't have, or is harder to find in the plugin because you have to dive through some menus. But overall, these are really awesome, and congrats to Green Oak for making some great plugins, and thank you to them for giving these away for free. These are awesome. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good day.